So the Jesuit pedophiles with their cancer HAARP that have tortured my mother to death with HAARP are in reality agitating all people, to torturing everybody, to play them out against each other. And at the moment you can see they're illegally interfering with evidence, so they're not letting me write down this message that I just told you in reality, that everybody is brain controlled with synthetic telepathy, and they send ideas in your own inner voice with silent sound technology and control your emotions with synthetic telepathy.com, also known as remote neural monitoring. And here we can see that they don't let me save my article. Jesuits are murderers and all Jesuits are loonies, because all believers are loonies. As you can see, I'm trying to save the message with Spiconia, and before that I've tried to save another message, and they're blocking that because they didn't want me to write down the other thing about brain control. And the other message I wrote: racists, haters, terrorists, conspiracy theorists, torturers, murderers, Jesuits. So they mainly want to hide the torture devices on YouTube, the fact that they've paid more money than anybody else in the pedophile cases, and of course especially that all Freemasons are worshippers of Satan, Lucifer, their inner core, satanic inner core, that they're a military order. And of course, greetings superior beings, greetings supreme being, welcome to universalpeace.jimdo.com. Right, the torture devices are on YouTube. They have tortured my mother to death, and it's best to do this head roll exercise. They look on your truncus encephali with their cancer HAARP in Alaska. For example, Barry Soetoro Davis Obama's treason, granting legal immunity to genocidal companies, Baxter and Monsanto instead of bona fide pharmaceutical companies and their illegal laws, and the AA allowing the indefinite detention and torture of any civilian worldwide, supposedly. Of course, no one buys that, and of course it's an illegal law in violation of other international laws. And the other thing is that Jesuits may have planned a world war to depopulate to 500 million to create a satanic new world order, according to what we read online. So usually when I report about something, then it's in reaction to other things we read online, so that's a bit how you have to see all this. And so at the moment they're blocking my computer, obviously. What else do we know? The cannibalism of the Jesuits is also documented online. And so they're using wireless energy, scalar waves, of which some people deny the existence, but wireless energy definitely exists. So Nikola Tesla's death ray is real. He wanted to use this thing to end all wars, according to what I read on Wikipedia, the CIA and Vatican edited encyclopedia, according to agency France Presse. And so, what else is important? Well, remember that Adolfo Nicholas, what they call the Black Pope, is behind all that. So he is responsible, besides the psychobama troll, guilty of treason. That's why I call him that in reality. And he deserves the death penalty for granting legal immunity to genocidal companies. Also to Monsanto, for example, creators of DDT Agent Orange, and of course aluminum resistant seed to get a monopoly, and they have contaminated our biosphere beyond repair with GMO. Hurrah! Hurrah! So normally at a birthday I can hurrah 3 times, but this is meant sarcastically, basically. What else is important? They are still torturing me with directed energy weapon attacks once in a while, because I read on the Satanists that want to eliminate you all in their Third World War. Their satanic inner core is real, and so is their illegal directed energy weapon torture. They've also done the directed energy weapon torture to Timothy Trespass. I'm holding my camera like this on Klokkenluider online, because it is kind of hard to keep it aimed at myself to make a selfie with it. And I'm just monitoring how long it takes before I can save my article, but perhaps Windows 8.1 cannot do such things as saving articles. Perhaps it's too new for that. Perhaps Anonymous could teach me what to do. Anyway, well, when I get another thing, then I'll notify you. But it was about brain control, so recovery begins with non-compliance. universalpeace.jimdo.com. So, greetings superior beings, greetings supreme being. The Jesuits or whoever is torturing me with the cancer HAARP in Alaska, I'm sure that it is done with HAARP because I've determined the direction with a grounded Van Graaff generator. They want me to pretend that there are centipedes in my body, so they do types of attacks. For example, that little noise that you heard, that sound, I cannot make it, but they can, with synthetic telepathy, of course by controlling your muscle movement, EKG, EMG and EEG, your brainwave, which is electromagnetic. Everybody is remotely controlled like zombies, robots, so nobody is going to prepare for the world war, and perhaps soon they are all not there anymore. universalpeace.jimdo.com. So the point was to round up this recording, that they are attacking my body to give me the illusion that there are centipedes. Also they can give you the illusion that there are insects crawling over your body, while in reality there are none. So we can be happy. And the other point was that I've been tested by doctors, so the risk that I have centipedes in my body would be lower, according to them also, than that other people have centipedes in their body. The risk would be higher for them than for me. So my risk of having centipedes in my body is lower than your risk if you haven't had a colonoscopy, bronchoscopy, CT scan and a PET scan to check if these animals, for example tapeworm, 25% of the meat eaters according to Dr. Rio have tapeworm in their body. So then your risk that you have them, if you haven't had those tests done, is bigger than my risk in reality. So I hope you all realize that I'm just telling the stories the way I do. I can also pretend there are centipedes in my body, because I think none of you have a cure against centipedes, perhaps against millipedes, niclosamide, but not against centipedes. And also it's interesting that they can enter the human body, which is called pseudoparasitism of myriapods in men, and that all of a sudden we see, when you search on that subject, we see movies called the human centipede and stuff appearing online, and hybrid insects and other things, and I wonder if it has something to do with the satanic ritual abuse of the Jesuit pedophiles that have tortured my mother to death with HAARP because she was a Protestant Christian. Their extreme Jesuit oath, you can Google extreme Jesuit oath, is also found in the Library of Congress. So in reality, I think I'm not going to be a Catholic, and that was something recently I've made a new Catholic movement, and in my religious commune basically, you are God yourself, you are gods, goddesses in reality, because your father and mother made you, and so that's why we all are gods and goddesses, because we can create humans, we can procreate in reality. That's one way of looking at it, and also in the Bible you'll find Eheia for the believers, which I'm not anymore. So I'm also not going to pretend that I am what's the word? I used the term just a minute ago on one of my recordings. Agnostic person. You can also say that if you don't want to let them know that you are an unbeliever, because they've sworn to kill all unbelievers, which is a bigger group than the group of Protestant Christians. And of course, thanks to Zeitgeist the movie, which is very educational, many people now realize that Jesus Christ never existed in reality, because Zeitgeist has shown that the religion of the Christians is a plagiarized version of the religion of the Egyptians in worship of the fake deity Horus. And so they realized that Jesus Christ never existed. So many people don't want to be Protestant Christian anymore. They don't want to be believers anymore, knowing that all religions are man-made. Religion is an illusion, Freud. Religion is a form of childhood neurosis. Freud, I don't know if it's an exact quote, but you can look it up. Also the source, the book that he wrote it in. So I'm sure that he did write it. Or pretty sure at least. I mean, how sure can you be, you know. Anyway, trust no one, nothing is what it seems. And religion is slavery for the mind. Someone else said that. And I agree with that totally. So I'm not going into what they wrote because it's a waste of time. It's better to go into how can we create non-fictional utopia. I think legalization is part of that. Decriminalizing natural medicine instead of chemical cancer-causing drugs, which always have a synergistic effect with cancer-causing electromagnetic radiation, according to Dr. Cyril Smith. And of course making us all eternal, which many people think will happen before 2045. And there might be time travelers among us as well. All speech errors are made with HAARP in reality. Then you can do that yoga head roll exercise to lock in on the brainstem, the truncus encephali. In reality, Snowden also wrote about it. And well, they tend to make themselves look like the heroes, and usually they like to accuse the people that have exposed their illegal activities, such as demolishing the WTC, of the crimes they are guilty of themselves. So the Jesuits use problem, reaction, solution, and divide to defeat. So we must use united we stand, divided we fall, and unite with everybody, and prevent the next false flag. For example, pretending that rebels that have been supplied by the Americans with weapons are in fact the Assad regime. That's a form of false flag, and the other one is attacking one of the ships in the Strait of Hormuz, which might still be there despite the nuclear agreement to be able to create such a false flag attack, and then pretend that the Iranians sunk one of the American warships in the Middle East to create their third world war, to depopulate to 500 million and create a satanic new world order. Now my arm is almost falling off, so I'm gonna round up this recording, and single women are still welcome. I'm Prologic999 on Skype. So you can Skype me, and I'm also flip you with the letter U instead of YOU at yahoo.com. So, and you can also reach me via universalpeace.jimdo.com. Universal peace now. Greetings superior beings, greetings supreme being. Universalpeace.jimdo.com has the following message for all of you. Some people are having sex all of the time, no doubt. Universalpeace.jimdo.com. The pedo perps have erased my article, Directed Energy Weapon Attack Overview for 2014 RTF. You can see that it is still 122 kilobytes. When I open the article, then you can see that there is no text visible yet. It's 122 kilobytes, more than this article, for example. So it's clear they have erased that in reality with the cancer HAARP in Alaska, and they are illegally interfering with evidence of incitement to commit genocide. Torture and evidence of treason in reality with wireless energy and their scalar weapon. They've been attacking my brain today, in reality, the people that are going to kill you all in the world war, and of course they have made new sanctions against Iran. So I think it is clear what they want to do in reality, from their own book quotes, also on universalpeace.jimdo.com. I've worked more than 20 hours probably on that overview. which was a very good, thorough overview of the things so far done to me and my father. The legal torture with centipedes and directed energy weapons of the satanic pedophiles, the Jesuits, with their satanic inner core military order, that have tortured my mother to death with their open, false world peace policy. So they're going to kill you all, in reality not me, I'm a nice vegetarian, and their cannibalism is also documented on universecreator.com.